What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Miles. I'm a 23-year-old full-time Amazon seller, and in this video, we're going to be sitting down with FBA Roadmap student Stone, who's actually totally scaled up his arbitrage business since he first went through the roadmap back in February and March. I remember talking to him about it and all that. But trailing 30 days, 70,000 in sales. We're talking about how he got going with the Bolo stuff, getting into more replenishable type stuff, his experience with VAs, experience with prep centers. This was a really awesome interview, one of my favorite ones I've done so far. So I hope you guys stick around for the whole thing, and let's get right into it. Stone, man, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, yeah. So I saw on your Twitter in July, it was like 40K trailing 30-day average, right? And then I think yesterday or something, there's why I hit you up to do this, right? It was like 68 grand or something like that in trailing 30-day average, right? So doing really getting, rolling with all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started FBAing in January time, right? And I was okay. I was doing like 20 grand a month. I actually saw some down months after that. But I mean, lately, actually, now I see like an upward climb. So it's been like 20 to 30 to 50. And my 30-day right now is 70. And it's been good. So I'm seeing growth, which is finally like, it's promising. So
Good. Yeah. I mean, 5 figures profit or close to it. If not, I
Mhm.
assume over that, trailing 30 days. That's nothing to be, nothing to downplay or anything. And being in college as well, right? So technically doing it part-time too.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
It's hard. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like super hard being in college and doing it at the same time, but obviously when you can't devote like all of your time to it, it's definitely a little harder to grow. But there's just so much potential in the space and Amazon in general, especially with OA, because that's basically all that I do. That it's kind of exciting, and there's like an addiction aspect of it that makes you just put in the extra time. So even if you have like schoolwork and stuff, you still want to put in the time. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Yeah. And you see though, right when summer hit, you really took off on stuff, looking at the way your sales scaled and everything like that. But you and I were talking off camera about how you started out with a lot more Bolo type items and strictly all FBM, if you're mistaken. So how'd you get into
Yeah.
Amazon? What that looked like, and then what made you make the switch?
Yeah, well, so I first started, I guess I'll just say the item. I sold Cronus Zens, right? Well, how that started was there's a kid who lived in my dorm, and he showed me 16,000 revenue on Amazon. He showed me his little seller app, and I was like, 16,000 revenue, right? I love numbers, right? I love money. And so I was like, I know that I could do this too. So I actually ordered some Cronuses, and they sold pretty fast. And then later comes another friend who shows me swimming pools, right? And he's like, yeah, last summer I made like 10 grand from swimming pools. I was like, that's a pretty nice number, right? So my third month on Amazon, I did 70,000, and that was on swimming pools. Yeah,
Holy
that
shit.
was on swimming pools. I was selling like 150-pound swimming pools. I probably sold like 300 of them, and I was waking up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to go to different cities to get them. So
Walmart's probably, right?
Walmart's, yes, Walmart's, and yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And then you start seeing numbers, and you're just like, you just want to keep going. And then after the swimming pool season, so maybe like, after August for a few months, I really didn't sell anything, right? Because swimming pools are over. I guess I really didn't know what to sell anymore, right? And then I started thinking that I kind of, I want to make money again. So I had to do something. And then I was like, FBA, right? Because I don't have to, deal with all these customers. Because during pool season, I was dealing with customers complaining this and that for no reason, right? And, so I started doing FBA January time, maybe late December, probably sent a few shipments in. But it was nothing like, I didn't see numbers like pool season at all, like to be honest. And it was a little bit of work, and just, I guess at the start you have to get the hang of it. But now, like I said, traction, growth, there's a lot more promise now that I know what I'm doing, and I'm not too scared to place thousands of dollars of orders. So yeah.
Yeah, so there's an interesting point there because I was telling you off camera, right? A lot of people get stuck in that like 5 to 20 grand a month range where they know this works, they're getting sales, however, they're not as profitable as they want to due to not being, as profitable, or like the workflow managing. They don't have the confidence to buy heavy, which is what you and I do now, and that's what really gets you there. It's those first initial big wins. And so just in terms of context, so this was last summer was the pool season.
Yes. Last
Okay,
summer.
so basically round 2 of pulls, you hit up heavy then on that. And now, right, The difference is that that's a little bit more finite, right? You're like, you have to drive around, do different stuff. It's a little bit more seasonal. And now, are you doing mainly seasonal items, or is it kind of just like, whatever's out there that's profitable?
No, I mean, I try to focus my business on replenishables, right? So yeah, seasonals are there, and I kind of know like what sold last Christmas time, right? All these decorations and stuff, and I was like doing pretty good with that. But for right now, I guess I'm just doing more so replenishables. I kind of wish that during this back to school season, I hit backpacks more.
Dude,
'Cause
can't buy them anywhere now. Yeah,
I
that
know,
planning ahead for next year. July is when to buy them because there's literally like they're out of stock, and that's why they do so well on Amazon now. They're
yeah,
legitimately out of stock at a lot of retailers.
yeah, but like I said, replenishables is where I've been touching more. But I think that seasonal is definitely a game that if you know how to play, you could put up some huge numbers. So now that I have like some experience under my belt, I'm willing to go ahead and put more time and maybe even hire people to go drive and get stuff for me. So that's kind of like what's on my mind now.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is the best seasonal time of the year is coming up, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas there. So I don't know when what the semester is like on stuff, but hopefully you're done early December or whatever to get
Yeah,
after on that.
I am. I think very early December, maybe even late November.
Oh,
But
yeah, you need all of December, ideally, because it's right. Black Friday is the big part, because Black Friday is when you buy stuff, right? Black
mhm,
Friday and then all the Christmas sales, right? And then the key is that so many people want to FBA stuff in January and February, and that's why the value goes down. They don't want to FBA stuff in December, right? So they buy all that Black Friday, Christmas sales, but then wait till January, February to FBA it. While what I'm going to be doing and what I did last year is just FBM all that because people can't forecast correctly on stuff, and there's such a lack of competition on stuff, and the buy costs are the lowest they'll be all year on some stuff.
right, right. I To be honest, like last Black Friday, I wasn't like too. I think that was the downtime for me with my whole Amazon thing. I wasn't really selling anything. So like this year with Black Friday, I'm gonna go hard because now like obviously I know what I'm doing for the most part. I guess I could say. So definitely hit that a lot harder. So that's a good point though. FBM is definitely something that people like sleep on a lot
So
because
slept on, man.
I mean, if you do FBA, you realize that cash flow is like harder because
It's
the
much
money,
harder.
the
Yeah.
money, like I have 25,000 on my balance right now. I can't pull it. I can't do anything with it, right? But FBM, the money just gets cycled so fast because it goes from straight from you to the buyer. So that's why people. I mean, it's good to have like a balance and obviously do a lot of FBA,
Mostly.
but
You have to
trickling
use
in,
FBA. Yeah.
yeah, but trickling some FBM is definitely something that people should consider more because it's definitely helped me and you too. So.
Yeah. And so are you doing prep center or anything? Because you're in Texas, so there's sales tax implications on some sites, I'd assume.
Yeah, so I do prep centers. I actually have worked with 3, but, some not so great experiences with
Yeah,
one.
you have to test stuff out. Yeah.
Right, and then the new one that I have, I actually just signed with them, like, last month, but their turnaround is the day of. The only problem is they have some sort of, like, shipment issues where sometimes the shipments will be super small, like, couple units, and it's just like, okay, the shipping prices is kinda like for
Yeah.
this, it's just not fair, but yeah, I'm doing prep centers, especially like because I'm going back to school and I won't have as much time. Prep centers is probably the way to go. And if you want to scale, prep centers help with that a lot.
Agreed. Yeah, because the buying's the big input. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
the thing that you make money when you buy. You don't make money stickering stuff and everything
exactly.
like that. Outside of I guess very seasonal FBM opportunities, you're paid a it's a good rate to be prepping stuff in terms of FBM seasonal
Yeah,
opportunities and the
of
ROI is good.
course.
Yeah. And you're on sales tax free states?
Yeah, so Montana, Oregon. Yeah, Montana, Oregon, that's where mine are. Because
Yeah.
there's stores like Walmart that I and Best Buy, which I don't have or I do have tax exempt, but to be honest, Walmart leads, they brick a lot on me. So
Of course. Yeah.
because everyone sees them, right?
Everyone, and there's
So
no coupons.
yeah. Oh, that's also true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm very selective now, and that's something that as a beginner, you don't realize that, and then once you start selling more and more Walmart Target items, you start seeing them like a lot of them just they just fall. So now I just try to stay away from those unless I see like super consistent lines. But
Yeah. And it's like sourcing with those moats, you know what I mean? Coupons are a moat. Sales tax arbitrage is a moat. Stuff with variations, whether it's like, shoes, just in general, higher priced items as
right.
well, because it draws away newer sellers. And two, like what do you know your average sale price ASP?
I want to say it's been around like 50, 60.
Which is fantastic, and that's so well optimized for the
Yeah,
prep center model, right? Because assuming some of that is like the shoe kind of things, like
it
no
is.
shoe sites can get tax exempt. Therefore, the arbitrage is so much greater because you're paying that fixed prep cost while the competition is paying the variable
Right.
costs more expensive than just for anyone watching it. It makes a lot of sense. It's something I've thought a lot about myself in that. So I've seen you tweeting about VAs a little bit. How have you been utilizing VAs, if at all, in the
Yeah, well, the VA journey has been a little difficult, to be honest. I got a VA a couple months ago, just fired him 2 days ago actually. And that was funny because we actually found out that some of like my old friends actually had the same VA, so he's double dipping, and we didn't realize that, but there was definitely some clues that we had. But online jobs is definitely the place to go if you want to hire one. And I think that I think I've started my job search again just because like it'll help out with sourcing a little bit. But to be honest, a lot of my sourcing still comes and goes through me because I feel like, at least with the experience with this last one, I think my skills are like, better than his. But
Of
I
course,
mean,
yeah.
obviously, like try to train him and stuff, which that's super important. I probably neglected training. I should have trained him more so. And if I had to give advice, I'd say like make some videos of yourself sourcing and send it to him
Ooh,
so he
yeah,
can go back and like watch them if he needs advice, because just saying stuff is not enough, right? They want visuals is like a lot better. So if I could go back, I definitely make videos of myself sourcing and doing some, the tasks that I want them to do, and then giving it to him so he can go back and watch. But I think VAs it's not crucial, especially at the beginning of your business, to have one,
not
right?
at all. Agreed.
Especially like one thing that you vouch for a lot is you need to learn how to source yourself before you get one, right? And that only makes sense because even if you hire a VA that has experience, like mine told me he worked for Fast Track, right? You
Mm.
realize as soon as you hire him that Fast Track experience is not necessarily, all the experience that you want, because you have stuff that they've never heard of, right? Like tips and tricks that they've never heard
Oh,
of.
of course. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and there's all that nuance, and there has to be synergy there for you both to take advantage of because you have specific items you like, specific sites you like to buy from, coupons that you found. Maybe they have coupons they've found on their
Right.
own, and that's the competitive advantages there being, synergy on all that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Because it doesn't make sense if they're finding items you don't like to sell or you can't sell or, vice versa, all that kind of stuff. And then how are you sourcing stuff? What
Yeah,
method?
so I do use SellerAmp. I do. No plug, but SellerAmp. I do have Ace and Zen. It's just I don't really need it anymore because I have
Mhm.
SellerAmp, but I just had it, and then obviously Keepa. But I do a little bit of storefront stalking, but I like manual sourcing. So
Ah,
obviously,
on
like
sales and such. Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
underrated, man. It's just difficult, right? You have to have an eye for stuff.
yeah, it's very difficult, but once you understand what brands sell, you can start like hone down on those brands and obviously like sign up for every single website's newsletters or
Yeah,
whatever,
the burner. Yeah,
and they'll send you pings in your email if there's a coupon. And so I kind of just go off of that. Like, I mean, I'll give East Bay, right? They just run sales all the time,
all the
right?
time.
And you can take advantage of that, but sometimes you don't know there's a sale unless you check your email and hey, there's 35% off, which that was like 2 weeks ago, but yeah, so I do a little bit of that, and then actually, Amazing Asins, he was on your
Oh, shout out
podcast.
to him. Yeah, he's on
Yeah,
BBG. Yeah,
shout out to him. He was saying that he has a list of some stores that he'll go back and check regularly, right? And I have some stores that I also go back and
I do
check
too.
too. But
Yeah.
I think that manual is also you can create a mode with manual because it's a lot harder to find stuff, and people don't want to spend the time doing it. And so I dabble with manual and a little bit of storefront stalking, I would say the most.
Sweet.
But
Oh, good to hear. Yeah, and so you're just going to be doing all your own. So, or you said you were getting the job search going again, right? And this time you'll know better what you expect. You'll
oh
be
yeah,
better at training. You got to shoot, tons of videos, right? If like giving them access to the roadmap, whatever they need, you know what I mean, to make sure there's perfect synergy and stuff.
exactly.
Basically.
I might just send him some of your videos.
No, okay, cool. Well, it's a lot of VAs and potential VAs actually watch our stuff to begin with and everything, which is pretty. I actually love. I'm curious. Some of these guys in the Discord, like they're smart. They'll join the Discord to try to find clients to work for. Basically, it's pretty smart, I would say.
That is
On there and little hustle, not just the getting the sending the blank non nuanced resume on Online Jobs PH whatever on that. So what are the like on a year, right? You've gone from like not being familiar with this to making, some good money, especially probably more than you would make at least the first few years out of school, kind of depending on,
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you planning on doing this full time after?
Full-time entrepreneur for sure. That's
Mhm.
my plan. So I do this, and I think having more time after school is definitely going to be beneficial. So obviously, I think I'm going to keep with it. I want to get into wholesale a little bit too, but
Nice. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah.
but right now, like there's a lot of potential in online arbitrage. I mean, for at least a few more years. So I'm gonna stick with that, I think, and get some capital. But I do some other things on the side that kind of entrepreneurial like. So I'll just put them all together and knock it out. Like with no school, having the burden of going to class, you have a lot more time when that's over. So
Yeah, I can 100% attest to that being a year and a half or so out of school on that. But cool, thanks a lot for chopping it up. And you're a really good speaker too. You got to start like some type of well, even if it's just tweeting, but like you're a very very good speaker
I
on stuff. So
appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming on a lot.
Well,
Definitely.
thank you so much for the time. It was a pleasure getting to go on your YouTube channel and kind of share a little bit of the stuff that I've learned.
Yeah, 100%, man. So everyone, go follow Stone on Twitter. It's linked in the description. On that, potentially Instagram as well down the line. But we got the Twitter down. It's pumping. If I
Yeah,
get that profile pic a little less anonymous on everything like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Maybe we can at 100K a month, we can run a Buy Box Bandits episode potentially on that.
We'll get there soon.
All right, my
Mark my
guy.
words.
Sounds good.
Give me 1 to 2 months.
All right. Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Sweet.